Hello, here we are in Hampstead Station, tube station that is, because we're going to take a look at Hampstead Heath. I've lived near the Heath for a long time, and yet it hasn't occurred to me to make a video of it, even though I've been making videos for these past few years. So today's the day. It's an ancient station and very deep. You can see by this lift taking us.
Please have your tickets ready.
Please have your tickets ready. I tend to choose a ticket barrier that somebody else has already gone through, because then I can bet that it's going to work. Right. And here we are. Hampstead High Street to the left. Just down the hill there, but we're not going that way. And we're not going that way. And we're not going that way. We're going to the right and the right again, just here, it's up the hill beside the station. See, the station has these ancient terracotta tiles, very characteristic of some of the oldest tube stations. Up the hill here, just a little bit, 50 metres or so, we have Back Lane. So you can see how quaint bits of Hampstead are, modern and old, right opposite each other. Of course, you've got to have some proper money to live here, or you can probably be a student in a bedsit or something with some proper money. But we're going up the hill, carry on up the hill. This is the Cato Gallery. It's the sort of place you have in Hampstead, really. It's a posh part of London. It's only a short walk up to the actual Heath from the station, but it is uphill. Of course, you can get a bus or something if you like. Behind these trees is Hampstead Observatory, which I used to live near here and I never went there despite my interest in space. They have an astronomical society open to the public as well, but there you go. That's Whitestone Pond, I think. It's pretty horrible. We're not going there. Jack Straw's Castle is that whitish building up ahead. It's a pub. Used to be a gay pub, I don't know what it is now. They used to be pink, they're no longer pink, so I suspect they've gone family friendly. And this is Spaniards Road, named because there is a Spaniards pub, or a pub called the Spaniards further on, which used to be an old toll gate. We head off in this direction, basically. But it's only 50 metres, 100 metres or so, and here's the entrance. One of the entrances to the Heath. I've come here on a Sunday morning in late August. Summer is definitely past its peak, but it's set to be a nice day today. It's about 7:30 in the morning at the moment. Lots of trees and things, and if you look through the trees you can see something of the view of central London through the haze there in the distance. If we zoom in a bit, can start to see something of it. We'll get to Parliament Hill later where you have a proper view of it. But for now, this is a view of a log. And this weird alien fungus, whatever it is. Spooky, huh? Where's Doctor Who when you need him? Hey? Hampstead Heath is a big park stroke nature reserve, and it's quite big. You can spend many hours here walking around, and I'm basically just following this path straight in to see where it goes, basically. There's lots of woodland, lots of joggers here, lots of cyclists even on some of the paths. As you can see, it's a very nice place though. I think that tree probably blew down in the storm of 1986. But obviously they fall down from time to time anyway. Not quite sure what type of tree that was, but there's another one, same type. You can look at the leaves close up and maybe identify it if you want to. And here's another fallen giant. But it didn't actually die, and it is still growing, despite having fallen right over. Still covered in leaves. An oak tree, I think. Basically just wandering through the woods. It's an interesting old tree. I suppose if you're going to go for a walk in the woods, you should be a bit interested in trees and stuff. People love to walk their dogs in Hampstead Heath, and the dogs of course love it too. Some blackberries, not even ripe yet. It's probably a bit early for them actually, but we're having an early autumn, I think. August It's typically a hot month, but this year it's cooled down a bit. They put little benches here and there to allow people to enjoy the view. Some gorse with a big cobweb on it. The gorse comes out in brilliant yellow flowers at some time of the year. You can see some of central London from here, and somebody with loads of dogs. Somebody's puppy joining in, there you go. I'm not quite sure which pond this might be. There are quite a few in Hampstead Heath. I think this might be the one that's called Stock Pond. You'll find they have rather prosaic names. So keep your dog on a lead while you're watching this video. You can see the gardens are slightly overgrown. Athlone House itself was used by the RAF as an intelligence training station in the Second World War. It was hit a couple of times by V1 bombs. Then it was converted after the war into a convalescent home. Then it was bought by various wealthy people, Kuwaitis. I think currently a Russian oligarch owns it, and they're planning to refurbish the actual house and build some luxury apartments. It's just outside the edge of the heath, but this bit is within it. I'm supposing these are foxgloves, but this is the tallest foxglove plant I've seen. It's a good 2 meters or so high, more than 6 feet, maybe 7 feet tall. Sorry about the sounds of the camera zooming, but it does that, I'm afraid. Little pond, tiny, 6 feet long or so, and an aeroplane. Because this is London after all. And there, behind the fence, I think is a bit of Athlone House itself. I'll try and look at that in a minute. Gotta look at the flowers first. There it is, yeah. As close as you can get to it from inside the heath, because it's all fenced off. Because it's private. I don't know what this plant is, but it has huge leaves. Some of them are about a foot across. Can't quite tell on film or video, but it's big. Same spider, different angle to get the light. More dog walkers. I don't know if that's a St. Bernard. We've come out of the gardens now and back to the heath. Or the heath proper, if you like. I tried one of the blackberries that was actually ripe. No flavour at all, I'm afraid. A true wild variety. And now we come to Kenwood House, a stately home and nowadays an art gallery. It's free to go in except when there's special exhibitions, of course. Just have a look. Now, they used to hold open air concerts on this field above that pond, but the locals complained about the noise. Can you believe it? They've lost the amenity for the time being. As I say, you can go in, although I decided not to today as it happens. I can remember back in the 80s sitting in this field here listening to the free concerts from time to time. These cottages are just beside the villa. This one is the tourist information office, and there's a little shop in the back of it. And where these umbrellas are, there is, in fact, there are a couple of cafes, I think. So I stopped at one because it was now about, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning. Here we are. I got a currant scone and a cup of tea for £5.10. London prices. So instead of going into Kenwood House, I walked down the hill and through the woods and came out here in the Highgate side of the heath, and you can see the Shard on the right, Walkie-Talkie Tower in the middle, and the Gherkin on the left. Noisy zoom, but there you go. I thought I'd do a bit of walking instead of some still shots. Not sure it works really. Do tell me which you prefer when I do these sorts of things. I don't know if you need a bit of both, I don't know. Now that the day's warmed up, of course there are more members of the public around, other than myself. Telling his dog what to do. The ground is really noisy here. I think this is maybe Parliament Hill, which is where you get the good view. Take a walk up there later, if so. And here we have a pond. I have to say I'm not totally sure which one. There are a number in Hampstead. Or Hampstead Heath. I think, looking at the map I have here, I think this is probably the Bird Sanctuary Pond. That's what it's called. Bird Sanctuary Pond. And this one, I think, is known as the Model Boating Pond. Although everybody seems to be fishing here, in fact. But there isn't a fishing pond as such. Yeah, and I took a walk along the side of it. Don't see any model boats, but lots of people fishing. I guess there must be... Maybe there's one or two fish actually left in there, I don't know. Now we come to the next pond, Highgate Men's Bathing Pond. These ponds are all in a row, as it happens. And you have to bathe within a certain area because there's deep silt and stuff like that in the other parts. There's a women's bathing pond as well. But you can't really video women swimming too much, they'll think you're up to something, so... That's the men's one. Oh, the dog whining is dogs. Yeah, somebody had their dogs behind me going to the toilet, and they were a bit. One of them was a bit scared of his own pee. Don't know why it's not in focus here, but never mind. You get a rough idea. And this one is the Highgate Number 1 Pond, also called Hampstead Heath Dog Pond. I suppose dogs are allowed in it. I don't know. They go in some of the others anyway. Dogs can't read the signs. Well, it's some sort of plant anyway. And this broken tree seems to have been carved a bit. And now we are walking up Parliament Hill. So it might be back to noisy camera sounds, I'm not sure. Not too bad. Oh, the benches here, most of the benches are dedicated to somebody. You can pay to have a bench put in various parts of London, actually. all over the place actually, they do it a lot. See down on the left the ponds we just walked up from. I think that's the men's bathing pond. Plenty of people up here, isn't there? And there's something of the view. The three buildings in the centre are Guy's Hospital, the Shard and St Paul's Cathedral. Over there is Blackfriars, roughly speaking, and Southwark. Walkie-talkie is the funny-shaped one. The wedge-shaped one is Leadenhall Tower, or the Cheese Grater, and the Gherkin there in the centre now. I don't know what they're all called, or even where they all are, actually. Canary Wharf, Canada Tower is the triangle, one with the pyramid on top. And we have a greener view in this direction. And we find out what this fence is for at the top. It's for some archaeological dig. Again, we're looking towards the ponds, and that I think is Highgate over there in the distance. And that is the old post office tower, or the telecom tower, or BT tower, and Euston Tower is this blocky building next to it. So if you want to match them all up, here they all are.
Although it sort of works for me because then I at least get to run home downhill, whereas for you, something like that.
So now let's head back towards the Hampstead side of the park again. I've just walked down this path basically. I'm going to carry on in this general direction, in fact. This glories in the name of Hampstead Number 2 Pond. And just at the bottom of the slope here on the right we have the mixed bathing pond. And there are, I believe, some mixed people bathing in there. Or mixed up people anyway. And that's the number 2 pond. I like this one, it's more natural looking. And dogs do like to swim in that one. Not quite sure which part of the camera is making those clicking sounds as I walk, but I have plans for a different way of recording the sound, so I'm going to have to experiment with that, I think, in future. Now the question is, which way do I go? In fact, I go straight across, or almost just slightly to the right there. Just there. I had to stop and study the map on my phone a bit there. This park is big. And this is Viaduct Pond. Even though it's small, in a way I like it the most. It's got a bit of character to it with the viaduct. Let's head up there, shall we? Who are you waiting for, doggy? Aha. And here we are. What's down here? I don't know if you can read that, but it says stoned here Monday. I suppose there must have been to spend the time carving that. So let's head back to the path. We're nearly back to the entrance where I came in. I've been in the park for 5 or 6 hours. So I guess that's it. Hope you've liked the video. Let me know what you think. How could I improve it? I guess with some professional Steadicam and stuff, I don't know, but anyway. Subscribe and like and all that, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.